What's up, y'all? Mr. Richard here. I'm So Beastly, episode 9. 9. Ugh. All right. So, obviously, this is episode 9, which would mean we have 125 more episodes until the episode 134 vision comes to fruition with 1 million followers slash subscribers. Um, so the update on YouTube, I'm sitting at 24 followers, subscribers. I guess they're subs on YouTube, sitting at 24. Um, and then on Spotify, I'm sitting at 9, which is, we're steadily going up, small, slow and steady wins the race. We're gonna get there, right? We just gotta stay consistent. This is my second week in a row with an episode, so we're staying consistent. We're gonna get there. Eventually when I'll get more consistent with it. I'll start doing multiple episodes a week. We'll be grooving. We'll hit that 134 in stride, and we will reach our goal of 1 million. I mean, the vision told me it has to happen, So that's that. And as always, I'm going to start by saying the link to my book, Winston Feathersby, I'll let you know how it goes, is in the description, as well as the link to my second book, Dream Journal. Links down below. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about them. If you're interested in taking a peek at them, go ahead. That's up to you. Um, but let's just get into the meat and potatoes of it all. This episode is about fasting. Okay. The reason I didn't have any plan to do this episode on fasting, I have a whole notebook, not a whole notebook, partial little pieces of a notebook filled in with um, different notes I've taken on different concepts, some spiritual, some, otherwise. So I was going to choose one of those and do an episode on it. And my next episode will be out of that notebook. But this episode is about fasting because my girlfriend and her work, they had been talking about it, about doing a fast. Um, and so she told me about it. I've been wanting to do one for a while, and it finally works out. The timing is perfect. Um, So I'm on a fast. I'm on day 2 of the fast. Okay. And I'm doing it for the health benefits. It's nice to get that, like you call it a metabolic reset. Um, but we'll get into a couple of those things um, here in a second. I have done fasts before. Okay, and I'm only going to speak on experience, some research I've done, but also my experience with fasting. Um, every time I've done a fast, and some days I've made it, past the day, I've always fallen on day 3 at the most. I've never made it 72 hours. Okay. Partially because I was a fat boy who needed food, partially because I was not as mentally strong as I am now. I am definitely more mentally strong than I was the last time I did this fast. Um, but the fasting is interesting indeed. So the very first time that I truly tried to do a fast, like a long fast, my goal was to get to 3 days. So I said, I'm like, okay, 3 days. I'm getting to 72 hours. Day one was tough. Day one is tough because you're not used to not eating food. I eat food. I eat a lot of food when I eat. I overindulge, of course. I mean, obviously. Um, but it was difficult. Day one is very difficult for me, usually. You get past it, then the headache sometimes comes about. And then if you make it to day 2, when I would make it to day 2, okay, day 2 is when I would have immense energy. I would not be hungry at all. My mind would be as clear as it's ever been. So day two was always proper. It was like nothing was different. Like I felt amazing physically, mentally, spiritually, everything was clicking. I was just on point. And then it got to day 3, right? I'd set a limit to day 3. I was like, I need to make it 3 days. And by the time I got to day three, the closer it got to the end point, the more hungry I got, the more difficult it became because I could see, the light at the end of the tunnel. So it was just making it far more difficult to reach that goal because because I had set that goal, right? And so it's like going on a road trip. Okay, you know where the destination is, you know how far you are, and that last part of the drive is always the toughest because you just want to get there, right? And so I was to the point where I wanted to do all I wanted to do was eat. All I could think about was eating because I had set that boundary, right? So I didn't make it the 3 days. I cracked. I It was too hard for me at that time. I didn't make it. And that's okay. Yeah, I still felt the benefits. I still kind of got out of it what I needed to at that time. It's not something that I didn't get the full benefits, but I got out of it what I needed in that moment. Right. But then I knew what I could do. I knew I could at least make it 2 days. Okay. And so I didn't fast for a while. Um, and then I would try to fast and maybe I'd make it a day and then, buckle because I'm just like, oh, what's the point? So I didn't really have a true fasting goal in mind. I didn't, there was there was a point I knew the benefits of it. I knew what I could get out of it, but I wasn't, motivated to do it. I didn't really see a proper need for it. And I did more research. And once you hit a certain amount of time fasting, it's somewhere between 48 and 72 hours, as they say. As the research has said, I don't know why I said they. As the research has said, somewhere between 48 and 72 hours, your body starts to enter ketosis and it goes into something or performs something called autophagy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Um, and basically, what that does um, is it essentially renews your cells. So it takes the bad cells, it um, detoxifies the bad cells, essentially sends them out and replenishes with proper cells. It starts to heal you, right? Our bodies can heal, right? We can heal ourselves properly. Um, but this kind of works as more of a catalyst to that process. So it allows us, there's no waste, there's nothing extra in your body to focus on. So it starts burning the extra stored fat, and then it starts to rejuvenate the cells, I guess would be a way to do it. It starts activating the nerves, and it starts healing your body. And so, I mean, that's the benefit of it. And it's also, you're not getting, at least from my perspective, from my, experience, if you hear something in the background, that's the dog. From my experience, it's, I have had mental fog evaporated, right? And in the short term, obviously, day three has been tough. I'm on day two right now, like I said, so still to see tomorrow. However, day one was the easiest day one I've ever had fasting. Day two has been very easy. However, I've been a little tired, but I looked it up to verify if it was safe, and it says very normal, and I'm in a good place on day two, which is cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel great. Other than and the one thing that is, you start wanting not necessarily you're not really hungry, you just want to taste something. Right. So I mean I've supplemented, I mean I haven't gone like a zero nothing fast with I mean I've had black coffee and herbal teas. Right. So I mean I'm not gonna cut out completely everything because and you can say, "Oh, well, they're not really fasting." Well, okay. But if I cut out caffeine, then I'm just gonna give myself headaches because my body's not used to having caffeine. That's honestly much more difficult to cut out cold turkey than food, right? And herbal teas, they're going to assist me actually in the fasting process. Okay, so, you know, so I am doing a water, black coffee, and herbal tea fast. Okay. And so far, I mean, so far it's gone great. My mental clarity has been so proper. I feel amazing. I can I don't I just it's hard to explain the way that you feel after fasting. And it's seen as something like from what I from what I've gathered, it's looked upon as like, oh, it's a crazy thing. Why are you fasting? You should be eating. It's detrimental to your body. Well, we're actually not supposed to be eating 3 meals a day. We're only supposed to be eating at most 1 meal a day, right? To be in peak performance, we should be eating no more than 1 meal a day. Spiritually speaking, of course, right? So we don't need that much food. We're told to eat far more than we actually need. Right. So now my goal with this is to detox for I haven't set an end date. I'm just doing it until I absolutely can't do it anymore. I may go 3 days, I may go a week, I may go 2 weeks. Who knows? And I will keep y'all updated on this. Um, but now, honestly, doing this podcast has made me even more motivated to eclipse that 3 days, 4 days, potentially 5 days and just see where it goes, see how I feel. But I'm not gonna be done with this. If I start feeling way too, loopy or weak or anything like that, then yeah, I'll definitely eat. I'll definitely. I mean, it'd be stupid not to. Um, but right now we feel great, so we're gonna see how it goes. I've lost 4 pounds in the 2 days, so that's pretty solid. Really, honestly, I've lost 4 pounds since last night. I didn't weigh myself initially. Um, so that's obviously a bonus. And like I said, I just feel really good, and that's what this is all about, you know. So I'm a big proponent of fasting. All right, I suggest at least doing intermittent fasting. I think that is after once I finish this fast, I'm just going to do intermittent fasting and focus on eating just more fruits and veggies. Really try to work my way towards being vegetarian. Nothing against meat. It's just, personal choice. I don't eat all the meat you want, whatever. It's delicious. So, but work my way towards being vegetarian, or at least flexitarian, eating meat every now and again. I don't want to be a difficult vegetarian. I'll still eat meat at a family gathering, right? Um, but I probably will start trying to fast once a month. At least do one full day, 1 to 3 days once a month, and just kind of reset everything and do it when the moon is in my sign. Right now, the moon is in my sign. I'm an Aquarius. Um, so I guess technically the tomorrow it starts, it's become enters Aquarius. But that is basically when you should be, from what I've read, when you should be fasting. When the moon is in your sign is when you should be fasting. Because that's when everything starts to align and you just become the most balanced and everything's just proper. So I honestly, the timing, I didn't plan to do this fast, but the timing could not have been any better. So cool beans, fam. Um, but yeah, so that's it on fasting. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more we can do. There's a lot more research, but I prefer to speak on my personal experience, um, as opposed to, you know, regurgitating what other people have researched or um, put out there. So so yeah, that's my experience. I All I can say is that I feel great. Slightly tired, but apparently that's normal from what I've seen. Uh, so we'll keep you updated. But yeah, that's all we have for episode 9. If you've listened to me before, I like to keep them pretty short and sweet, somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. Sometimes even shorter than that. It just depends on how much we want to talk. But uh, but yeah, this is I'm Mr. Richard. This has been I'm So Beastly. Subscribe, like, comment, helps out the channel. I would love to hear any thoughts. I would love to have a guest on here. That would be wonderful. But that's that. I'm terrible at wrapping things up apparently. So, ha. Zzz. Oh, all right. I'll see y'all in episode 10.